Listen very carefully, because what I'm about to share with you is not just a prayer, it's a divine key. If you've been struggling financially, feeling like money slips through your fingers no matter how hard you work, this message is for you. Say this short prayer for just 60 seconds. Keep it between you and God, and watch how doors open within 24 hours. I've seen it transform lives, and today it could transform yours. Stay with me until the end, because missing even one word could mean missing your breakthrough. Before we go further, I'd love to know, which city are you watching from? Drop your city name in the comments. It's always amazing to see how far this family reaches. And if this message is speaking to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so more lives can be touched. Oh, and one more thing, we've just started a new channel where we share life-changing wisdom. Today's video there is called Men Are Extremely Attracted to Women Who Detach. If you're a woman looking for deeper confidence and understanding in relationships, this message will bless you. I'd love for you to check it out, subscribe, and share it with a friend who might need it. You can find the link in the channel bio. Go watch it. I believe it will speak to you deeply. When we talk about prayer, especially a short and powerful one, many people underestimate its ability to shift their financial situation. But here's the truth. Money doesn't just come from your labor. It comes from favor, opportunities, and connections that are hidden until prayer activates them. Think of prayer as the key to a door you cannot see. The provision may already exist in someone's heart, in a company's decision, in an opportunity waiting to be released. But until you turn that key of prayer, the door remains shut. That's why many people work harder but still see little fruit. Effort without spiritual alignment often leads to frustration. Now, imagine this. A man is walking through a desert, thirsty and desperate. Beneath his feet lies a river, but it's underground. Hidden beneath layers of sand. His need is real, and the supply is there, but unless he digs, he will die of thirst. That's how prayer works with money. You may have abundance under your feet, but prayer is the digging tool that breaks the ground and taps into the flow. I recall the story of Elijah in the Bible. After he prayed, the heavens opened and rain fell on a dry land. 1 Kings 18:41-45. Notice, the rain was always there in God's plan, but it took prayer to release it. In the same way, your financial breakthrough may already be prepared, but prayer is the action that pulls it into your reality. Let's make it practical. There are countless testimonies of people who prayed in faith and saw sudden provision. A single mother once told me she had only $12 left. She prayed with tears, saying, "Lord, I don't know how, but I believe you are my provider." Within 24 hours, she received a refund check in the mail. She didn't even know was coming. That's not luck. That's prayer opening a hidden stream of provision. When you commit to saying this 60-second prayer with belief, you are not just speaking words into the air. You are commanding the spiritual atmosphere to align with God's promises. You are declaring that lack has no authority over you, and you are inviting divine provision to reveal itself. And here's the key. Prayer doesn't change God's mind. It changes your position. It places you in alignment with His will, where blessings flow freely. Think about electricity. The power company supplies current to your home, but until you flip the switch, the room stays dark. Prayer is the switch. The power is there. The source is available. But the light only comes on when you engage it. Many of us live like people sitting in darkness with the switch inches away. We complain about lack, stress about bills, and try every scheme. But we forget the most powerful weapon, prayer. The moment you turn that switch, hidden provision floods your life. This is why you must say this prayer not as a ritual, but as a declaration. Speak it with faith, expect it with confidence, and guard it in secret. Why in secret? Because not everyone around you understands faith. Some will doubt, others will mock, and negative words can choke the seed before it grows. Keep it between you and God, and watch what He does in the open. In that 60 seconds, you're not just praying for money, you're unlocking streams of provision that already belong to you. It may come as unexpected favor, a new opportunity, an overdue payment suddenly released, or even a gift from someone who had no idea what you were going through. But however it comes, remember, prayer is the key that unlocked it. So the first foundation you must understand is this: prayer unlocks the flow of hidden provision. Without it, abundance stays buried. With it, the ground breaks open and blessings rush in. You see, prayer by itself is powerful, but prayer without faith is like planting seeds in the desert. You can scatter them all day long, but without the water of belief, nothing will grow. That's why so many people pray, but only a few see results. The difference is faith. Faith is the invisible force that transforms words into manifestation. When you say this 60-second prayer, it isn't the length or the rhythm that matters. It's the belief in your heart that God hears you and responds. The Bible says in Hebrews 11:6, without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Notice the word reward faith. Filled prayer always attracts a response. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a farmer who plants corn. He puts the seeds in the soil, but the next morning he digs them up, checks them, and says, I don't think this is working. He repeats this every day. Do you think that farmer will ever see a harvest? No, because his doubt destroys the process. In the same way, when we pray and then immediately cancel it with words like, I don't think this will happen, we sabotage the seed of our own prayer. Faith is not wishful thinking. Faith is confidence. It is the inner conviction that even if you don't see the money right now, it is already moving toward you. Faith looks at an empty bank account and says, I know provision is on the way. Faith doesn't deny reality. It declares a greater reality. I once met a man who was drowning in debt. He told me, I prayed for years, but nothing changed. I asked him, when you prayed, did you believe you would see results? He paused and admitted, honestly, I hoped, but I didn't believe. That was the turning point. The moment he began to pray with faith, speaking as though the breakthrough had already happened, opportunities opened up. Within weeks, a contract he had been waiting on was approved, and his financial situation turned around. Here's the secret. When you pray, you must see it in your spirit before you see it in your bank account. This is why Jesus said in Mark 11:24, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Did you notice the order? Believe first, receive second. That's how faith transforms prayer into results. Now, let's make it practical. When you say this 60-second prayer, don't rush through the words. Slow down. Picture in your mind what provision looks like for you. See yourself paying those bills. Imagine the debt being cleared. Visualize the unexpected money showing up. As you speak, let faith paint the picture inside you. Why? Because the mind can only hold one dominant belief at a time. If you fill it with faith, there's no room for doubt. Another story comes to mind. A young woman I know had been jobless for months. Every morning she prayed, but nothing seemed to change. One day she decided to do something different. Instead of begging God, she began thanking him, and she said, Lord, I thank you for the job. You've already prepared for me. I thank you for the salary increase that is coming. Within a week, she received a call for an interview and was hired. She told me, the prayer didn't change. My faith did. This is what I want you to understand. Faith is not just believing God can do it. Faith is knowing He will do it. When you align your heart with this truth, your words carry authority, your prayer carries weight, and your expectation pulls the unseen into the seen. Think of faith like electricity. You can have the best lamp in the world, but unless you plug it into the socket, it stays dark. Prayer is plugging into the socket, but faith is flipping the switch. That's when the light comes on. So, as you prepare to say this 60-second prayer, remind yourself, this is not just words, this is my faith speaking. Believe that as the words leave your mouth, the heavens are already moving, angels are already aligning, and provision is already being released. Faith transforms prayer into results. Without it, words are empty. With it, words become weapons, declarations, and magnets that draw in the breakthrough you need. Many people treat prayer like a lottery ticket. They try it once, and if it doesn't work instantly, they throw it away. But real prayer doesn't work that way. Prayer is not a one-time gamble, it's a consistent lifestyle. One 60-second prayer said in faith is powerful, but when you combine it with consistency, you create momentum in the spiritual realm that cannot be stopped. Think about it. A hammer striking a rock may not break it the first time, or the 10th time, or even the 50th time. But with each strike, unseen cracks are forming inside the stone. Then suddenly, on the 100th strike, the rock shatters. Was it the final strike that did it? No, it was the accumulation of all the strikes before. Prayer works the same way. Every time you pray, something is happening, even if you don't see it yet. This is why Jesus told his disciples in Luke 18 about the parable of the persistent widow. She kept coming to the judge day after day until he finally granted her request. Jesus said, "And will not God bring about justice for his chosen ones who cry out to him day and night?" The point is clear. Consistent prayer brings undeniable results. I remember a young man who had been struggling financially for years. He told me, "I tried praying, but nothing happened." I asked him, "How many times did you pray?" He said, "Honestly, maybe 2 or 3 times." I smiled and said, "Imagine if you ate food only 2 or 3 times in a year. How strong would you be?" He laughed, but the truth sank in. Prayer is spiritual nourishment, and consistency is the diet plan. You can't grow strong on random meals. You need daily bread. Consistency in prayer doesn't mean you must spend hours in long rituals. Sometimes all it takes is 60 seconds of focused faith-filled words every day. Think of it as watering a plant. You don't dump gallons once and forget it. You water it little by little, regularly, until it flourishes. A woman once shared with me her testimony. She was drowning in debt and decided to say this short prayer every morning before leaving the house. For weeks, nothing seemed to change. But she didn't stop. She kept praying, kept declaring, and kept believing. Then one day, she received a call from a company she had applied to months earlier. They offered her a position with a salary higher than anything she had ever earned. When she looked back, she realized it wasn't luck. It was the fruit of her consistent prayer. Consistency also builds your inner strength. The more you pray, the more your faith grows. At first, you may feel weak, distracted, or doubtful. But with time, your spirit begins to sharpen, your words gain authority, and your mindset shifts from survival to abundance. That's why consistency is not just about asking God repeatedly. It's about transforming yourself into a vessel ready to receive. Think of athletes training for a race. They don't just run once and expect to win gold. They train every day, building stamina, discipline, and focus. By the time the race comes, they are prepared. Prayer works in the same way. Each consistent 60-second prayer is training your spirit to expect miracles, training your mind to see abundance, and training your heart to trust in God's timing. Another reason consistency matters is because it silences doubt. The enemy wants you to give up quickly. He whispers, "See, nothing happened. Why keep praying?" But when you commit to consistency, you push past the lies. Every prayer becomes a declaration of victory over doubt. And the more you declare, the less room doubt has to grow. Here's a practical step. Set aside a specific time each day, morning, lunch, or evening, and dedicate those 60 seconds to your financial prayer. Don't skip it. Don't delay it. Treat it as essential as brushing your teeth or eating food. Because the truth is, your spirit needs this discipline even more than your body needs physical routines. Consistency is where miracles often show up. You may not see it after day 1, but stay with it. By day 30, doors may start opening. By day 60, testimonies may begin unfolding. By day 90, your entire financial story may be rewritten. The key is not in trying once. It's in never giving up. So remember this. When you say this 60-second prayer, don't stop after one time. Say it daily. Say it faithfully. Say it until the breakthrough comes. Because consistency in prayer is what transforms a single spark into an unstoppable fire of provision. One of the biggest mistakes people make in prayer is speaking like beggars instead of heirs. They approach God as though they are unworthy, weak, and powerless, begging for scraps when in reality He has already given them authority to declare abundance. The 60-second prayer you're about to say will only carry true weight if you speak it with authority. Authority is what turns words into commands that the spiritual realm must obey. Think of a police officer standing in the middle of a busy intersection by himself. He is just a man. He doesn't have the physical power to stop dozens of cars at once. But when he raises his hand, every driver stops. Why? Because he represents authority. It's not his strength, it's the power backing him. In the same way, when you pray with authority, you're not relying on your own strength or wisdom. You are standing in the authority God has already given you. Jesus himself said in Luke 10:19, I have given you authority to overcome all the power of the enemy. Notice, he didn't say he will give it later. He already gave it. That means when you speak, you're not begging for permission. You're exercising the authority of a child of God. Let me share a story. A woman once told me she had been praying for years for financial breakthrough, but nothing shifted. When I asked her how she prayed, she said, I just keep telling God, please help me. I don't know if you will, but I hope you do. Her words were filled with fear and uncertainty. I encouraged her to shift her language. Instead of please, if you can, I told her to declare, Lord, I receive your provision. Money flows to me now. Opportunities open for me today. Within a week, she received an unexpected payment she had been waiting on for over a year. The shift wasn't in God. It was in her authority. Authority also changes your posture. Begging is desperate, but declaring is confident. When you said this 60-second prayer, you must stand tall in your spirit, even if you're sitting down physically. Speak as though you know heaven is backing you. Speak as though angels are already moving. Speak as though the money is already on its way, because spiritually it is. Think about it like this. When a king gives an order, he doesn't scream, cry, or beg. He simply speaks, and his word is law. Why? Because his authority is recognized. You too are part of a royal kingdom. The Bible says in Revelation 5:10 that God has made us kings and priests. That means your words carry weight in the spiritual dimension. But here's the challenge. Too many people cancel their authority with negative words. They pray one moment, Lord, I believe money is coming. But the next moment, they say, I'll probably never get out of debt. That's like planting a seed and then digging it up again. Authority must be consistent. When you speak with authority, you cannot contradict yourself with doubt-filled language afterward. Here's a simple exercise. Before you say the 60-second prayer, take a deep breath and remind yourself, I am a child of God. I have authority. My words carry power. Then speak slowly and clearly. Don't rush through it like a memorized line. Let every word carry weight. Imagine your prayer going forth like a decree that angels take as marching orders. Authority also silences fear. When the bills are piling up, fear wants to make you shrink back. But authority makes you rise up. It tells fear, you have no power over me. It tells lack, your time in my life is finished. It tells doubt, you cannot stay in my mind. Every time you pray with authority, you weaken the grip of fear and strengthen the flow of provision. One of the greatest examples of authority in prayer is Jesus himself. When he spoke, things happened immediately. He told the storm, "Peace, be still," and the winds obeyed. He told Lazarus, "Come forth," and the dead man rose. Notice, he didn't use long speeches or complicated rituals. He spoke a few words with authority, and creation responded. That same authority has been given to you. So when you say this 60-second prayer, don't let it be casual. Don't let it be weak. Let it be a decree. Stand in your God, given authority, and speak as one who knows the answer is already on the way. Because in the spiritual world, authority is everything. And the moment you use it, mountains move, money flows, and doors open. There is a hidden principle about money, abundance, and provision that many overlook. Gratitude is the magnet that multiplies blessings. You can pray with authority, speak with faith, and even remain consistent. But if your heart is full of complaint instead of thanksgiving, you shut the door to multiplication. Think about it. No one likes giving to someone who is ungrateful. Imagine handing someone a gift, and instead of appreciating it, they complain, "Why isn't it bigger? Why didn't I get more?" Would you feel excited to give again? Of course not. Now, if we, as imperfect people, feel this way, how much more does God value gratitude in the hearts of his children? In the Bible, Jesus demonstrated this principle in one of his most famous miracles, feeding the 5,000. He didn't look at the 5 loaves and 2 fish and complain about how small they were. He lifted them up, gave thanks, and then handed them to the disciples. What happened? The food multiplied in their hands until thousands were fed and baskets of leftovers remained. Gratitude turned scarcity into abundance. I once heard the testimony of a man who was unemployed for months. He prayed every day for provision, but nothing seemed to happen. Then one day, he shifted his approach. Instead of saying, "Lord, I need more," he began saying, "Lord, thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you for the little money I do have. Thank you for the breath in my lungs." Within a week, he received a job offer. He told me later, "It wasn't that God wasn't listening before. It was that my attitude was blocking the flow." Gratitude unlocked the next level. Gratitude multiplies what you already have. Even if you only have a little right now, be thankful for it. Say, "Lord, I thank you for this small beginning." That attitude will cause the little to grow. Think about a farmer again. He doesn't despise a single seed. He treasures it, plants it, and rejoices. Knowing it will multiply. Gratitude is the watering system that allows your seed to become a harvest. No, let's make this practical. When you say your 60-second prayer for money, always end it with gratitude. Don't just say, "Lord, bless me with provision." Say, "Lord, thank you that provision is already flowing. Thank you that money is coming into my hands within 24 hours. Thank you for what I cannot see yet." That thanksgiving shifts your heart from lack to abundance, and the universe responds to your expectation. I know a single mother who used this principle powerfully. She told me she was down to her last $20. Instead of panicking, she prayed a short prayer of faith and then said, "Lord, thank you for what's coming." She used her last money to buy a small meal for her children, and while they ate, she spoke gratitude over the food. The very next day, a family member sent her $200 unexpectedly. Her words were simple but powerful. "Gratitude made me rich before the money even came." You see, gratitude is not about ignoring your needs. It's about shifting your focus. Instead of obsessing over what you lack, you magnify what you have. And what you magnify multiplies. If you focus on problems, they grow larger. If you focus on blessings, they increase. That's why gratitude is such a powerful force in prayer. Gratitude also keeps your heart humble. Money without gratitude makes people prideful, greedy, and entitled. But money with gratitude keeps you grounded, generous, and wise. That's why God often waits to release abundance until He sees that you will handle it with thanksgiving. Instead of arrogance, gratitude proves that you can be trusted with more. Here's an exercise for you. After praying, write down 3 things you're grateful for, even if they're small. It might be the fact that you woke up today, that you have food to eat, or that you still have hope for tomorrow. As you do this daily, you'll notice a shift. Your heart will feel lighter, your faith will grow stronger, and opportunities for provision will begin to appear more frequently. Why? Because gratitude multiplies what prayer unlocks. So when you say this 60-second prayer, don't stop at asking, seal it with thanksgiving. Be thankful before the money comes. Be thankful before the breakthrough shows up. Because gratitude is the key that multiplies your blessings and accelerates your miracle. There's a reason the title of this message says, keep it secret. Some things lose their power when they're exposed too soon. Prayer is one of them. When you speak this 60-second prayer, it is not for public show. It is not for social approval. And it is not for validation from others. It is between you and God. A sacred transaction that must be guarded with secrecy. Why secrecy? Because not everyone around you believes what you believe. Some people will mock, others will doubt, and some will even curse your progress with their negative words. If you share your prayer too widely, you invite doubt into your atmosphere. And doubt, like weeds, can choke the seed of faith before it has a chance to grow. Jesus himself taught this principle in Matthew 6:6. When you pray, go into your room, close the door and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. Did you catch that? The reward is connected to the secret. When prayer is hidden, its power is preserved. Think of a seed planted underground. If you dig it up every day to show people, it will never grow. But when it stays buried, unseen and protected, it develops roots and eventually breaks the surface with life. Your prayer is that seed. Keep it hidden until it produces fruit. I remember a young man who desperately needed financial help. He began saying a short daily prayer, but instead of keeping it private, he told everyone about it. Some of his friends laughed. Others said, that will never work. Slowly, his own faith weakened because he absorbed their negativity. He gave up too soon. Later, he told me, I realized I killed the seed by exposing it to the wrong people. In contrast, I know a woman who kept her 60-second prayer completely private. She whispered it every night before bed, never telling anyone what she was saying. After a month, she received an unexpected inheritance from a relative she hadn't spoken to in years. When people asked her how it happened, she simply smiled. Her secret with God was her treasure. Secrecy also protects you from pride. Sometimes, when we experience breakthroughs, the temptation is to boast about how spiritual we are or how powerful our prayers must be. But secrecy reminds us that it's not about us. It's about God's faithfulness. By keeping it private, you keep the glory where it belongs. There is also a spiritual dimension to secrecy. The enemy does not have access to your private thoughts, the way he does to spoken words. When you keep your prayer quiet and sacred, you limit his ability to interfere. That's why silent declarations, whispered prayers, and private affirmations often carry so much power. Now, this doesn't mean you can never share testimonies. When your breakthrough comes, you can absolutely give glory to God and encourage others. But notice the order: secrecy first, testimony later. The seed must grow before you showcase the fruit. Here's a practical step. When you say the 60-second prayer, choose a private space, your room, your car, Even a quiet corner during your lunch break. Shut out distractions. Whisper the words softly or say them in your heart. Let it be your secret covenant with God. Then watch as He rewards you openly. Guarding your prayer with secrecy also keeps your spirit focused. When too many people know what you're doing, you become distracted by their opinions. You start to wonder, what if it doesn't work? What will they think? That doubt poisons faith. But when it's just you and God, your focus is pure and your expectation is undiluted. One of the most powerful habits I've developed is what I call secret seasons. During those times, I tell no one what I am praying for. I write it down, keep it hidden, and bring it only before God. Every single time, without fail, I've seen breakthroughs in those hidden seasons. Why? Because secrecy preserves power. So when you commit to this 60-second prayer, remember this principle. Keep it between you and God. Don't advertise it, don't debate it, and don't defend it. Protect it like a precious seed. Because when prayer is guarded with secrecy, the reward always comes with visibility. When people hear about a prayer that brings financial breakthrough, many think the words alone are the key. But in truth, the power is unlocked when prayer is joined with faith and action. Prayer without faith becomes empty repetition. Faith without action becomes wishful thinking. But when you combine all three, prayer, faith, and action, you activate the law of divine provision in its fullest expression. Think about the story of the woman with the issue of blood in the Gospels. For 12 long years, she suffered, she had prayed, she had hoped, but nothing changed. Yet one day she heard about Jesus passing by. Her prayer turned into faith, and her faith drove her to action. She pressed through the crowd, touched his garment, and instantly received her miracle. What she could not buy with money, what she could not gain with years of effort, she received in one moment because she dared to align her prayer with faith and action. This is the secret most people miss when they pray for financial breakthrough. They whisper the words but doubt in their hearts, or they believe in their hearts but never take action to open themselves to opportunities. But when prayer, faith, and action come together, heaven responds. Faith is not just believing something will happen. It's acting as if it has already happened. When you pray for money, faith makes you shift your mindset from lack to abundance. It makes you wake up the next morning expecting good news, expecting open doors, expecting favor. Action then becomes the step that shows God you are serious about receiving. For instance, if you are praying for a job, your action is to send out applications, to network, to prepare yourself. If you are praying for a business breakthrough, your action is to refine your plan, to look for opportunities, to steward what you already have wisely. Prayer sets the spiritual foundation. Faith releases the energy of expectation. Action demonstrates your readiness. And when heaven sees that alignment, blessings flow in ways you cannot explain. Sometimes the money will not fall from the sky, but opportunities will appear that lead you to it. Someone you never expected may suddenly call you, doors you thought were closed may open, or creative ideas may stir within you. History and research even support this principle. Studies in psychology show that people who combine spiritual belief with proactive behavior are far more successful in achieving their goals than those who rely on belief alone. It is the power of expectancy mixed with effort that shifts outcomes. In spiritual terms, it's like planting a seed and watering it. You cannot just speak to the soil. You must also sow and tend. I once knew a man who prayed fervently for financial relief. He repeated prayers daily, yet nothing changed. But then he shifted his approach. Instead of just asking, he began thanking God in advance, as though the money had already arrived. He started applying for jobs with confidence, meeting people with joy, and preparing his finances with discipline. Within 2 weeks, he was offered a position that not only paid more but aligned with his passion. His story is proof that prayer works best when it's embodied in faith-filled action. So as you say this 60-second prayer, don't just stop at the words, carry it into your heart with faith. Act like someone who already carries abundance. Speak like someone who already has provision. Walk into every room like someone who expects doors to open. This alignment draws resources, people, and opportunities to you. It creates an atmosphere where miracles become natural. As we come to the close of this message, I want you to pause and take a deep breath. Think about the weight you've been carrying, financial struggles, overdue bills, the feeling of never having enough. Now imagine all of that being lifted, piece by piece, as you surrender it into God's hands. That's what this 60-second prayer is about. It's not about magic words. It's about connecting your heart to the one who owns it all, the one who promises to supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. If you've whispered this prayer today with faith, I believe something has already shifted in your life. Sometimes you'll see it immediately, an unexpected phone call, a message of opportunity, or money release that was held back. Other times, the answer may unfold in the next few hours or days. But hear me clearly, when you align your words with faith and expectation, heaven moves. God has not forgotten you. He knows your needs before you even speak them, and he delights in responding to those who trust him. This is why I encourage you. Don't let today's prayer be a one-time act. Make it a habit. Speak it every morning, every night, and carry it in your spirit throughout the day. Keep it secret. Keep it personal between you and God. And watch how the atmosphere around your finances begins to change. Remember, prayer isn't begging. It's declaring. It's partnering with heaven. It's stepping into the flow of abundance that was designed for you all along. Now, before we end, I want to connect with you. Tell me in the comments which city are you watching from. I love seeing how this community is growing around the world. It inspires me to know we're united in faith, no matter where we are. And if this message touched your heart, do me a favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone you know who needs a breakthrough. You never know whose life could be transformed by hearing these words at just the right time. Also, we've just launched a brand new channel dedicated to deeper, powerful wisdom. Today's video there is titled, Men Are Extremely Attracted to Women Who Detach. If you're ready to understand relationships in a whole new light, go watch it. The link is right in the channel bio, and I promise it will bless you. As you go today, carry this truth with you. God is your provider. Lack is not your destiny. Abundance is your inheritance. Keep speaking, keep believing, and keep expecting. Because money, favor, and open doors are already on their way to you. Stay encouraged, stay faithful, and never forget, you are closer to your miracle